Welcome to today's Zoom call. On the call with me is Hiro Emoto. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Thank you for having me.
Over the last 2 months, we have met several times at the Emoto office in Tokyo, also with my family, my wife, and our three kids. And we talked about the social importance of water and Hado, which is Japanese for vibration. Hiro is the son of the world famous Dr. Masaru Emoto. Dr. Emoto's book, Messages from Water, sold millions of copies, was on the New York Times bestseller list for weeks at the time. He was invited by the Dalai Lama, royal family, state presidents, and the enthusiasm continues to this day. Your father's work bridged science and spirituality, and most people associate him with the photos of ice crystal. And I see you have a great photo in the back. It's
Yep.
a beautiful one. You could give us more information about that soon.
Yes.
Hiro, how old were you when you started joining your father on his lectures and travels?
I started to work under him when I was 25 years old, I think, in year 2002. And actually, until that time, I was living in Los Angeles, California. I was working for a travel agency company. But when the um, 9/11 happened and we had no customers, coming from Japan, and then yeah, I was wondering what to do at the time, and then I called my mother, and um, she actually said to me, "Why don't you come back to Japan to work for our company because you can see the world in this company." And then I was like, oh, really? So you can, I don't have to be out of Japan to see the world. So I came back to Japan to work for my father's company. And then, yeah, what you say was true because at that time, he started to become very popular because the book Message from Water was published and spread out. So I was there like work as a assistant, so to travel with him, and and then support him, and then so yeah, he went to really different countries, US, South America, Europe, and every countries, and everywhere he was there, and people appreciate what he found in the water. And yeah, so I was very lucky. And it's very fun, to travel with my father and then, support him to teach people about, truths of water. I'm having father like you because you take your family to different countries, and it was such nice experience for me, and I'm sure they you know feel the same way. So
Yeah, that's my opinion. When you travel to different places, you will have different thoughts and you experience yourself in so many different cultures. And this is something you take with you, not only
mm,
to the home base, but also out to the
mhm.
world. Yeah, this is
Yes,
what
yes, yeah.
we also experience, especially here in Japan. We don't speak Japanese, and the
Mm.
Japanese people often speak no English. So at the end, it is no problem to connect really fast and get in touch.
Yeah, yeah. If you give out the positive energy and the positive
Yes.
energy,
Yeah.
come back, there's a resonance. So, even if you don't know the language and you can somehow communicate with those people. So that's wonderful experience for your, daughters too. Mm.
Yeah, a lot of communication runs non-verbal, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it is beautiful also to see the kids growing on our journey. But if we come back
Mm.
to uh, your journey, your father's legacy explored water's response to consciousness. He passed away in 2014, about 10 years ago. And my question
Mhm.
is, how has your understanding of water and consciousness evolved since continuing your father's work?
Um, yeah, like you say, my father demonstrated through the technique of photographing water crystals. The water can memorize the information. So that's what he wanted to prove with the water crystal photography because first he was, healer. He was using the device, which can measure the energies of human body and
Mhm,
also can imprint information to the water. So, by using that device and the counseling, he cured a lot of people with, water with the information, the correct information for everyone. So, it gained really, really good results, and that spread out first in Japan. And but at some point there is, criticism came to him because, with the water and, uh, information huddle, the cure, people, that's not possible. And water,
sure.
retain information, never heard of it. So that's why my father wanted to, prove that water memorize information, stores information. Then he came to, the idea was actually by when he was reading the book about snowflake crystals. And he thought, oh, water. I mean, the snowflake is the water, and snowflake has the such beautiful designs, and so water should have crystals inside too. So that is why he started to do the water crystal experiment, and then he, succeeded to capture the water crystals after 3 months of challenge. And then he give any different information to the water, and then as he expected, the water crystal changed depending on the information receiving. So, the his yeah, purpose to do the water crystal experiment is to prove water can store information. So water crystal transform beautifully in response to positive information, beautiful words, and pure prayers, beautiful music. On the other hand, uh, the negative information, noisy music, bad words, the water shows distract water crystals. So we live on a planet of water. Our body is composed of 70% of water. So from this, I have come to understand that information that I emit, influence ourselves. Of course, the people around us and environment thing like water also, uh, you know, influence too, and also the body, in the water in my body too. So I really think it is important to make conscious about that. The things that comes from your mouth, are so
Mm,
affecting
mhm.
people around, even yourself, and water around. So that is, I think, I learned, and then I started to be conscious about it. And, so important to use better word, of course, the beautiful words, but try to use the better words than
Have you
bad words.
established this as a personal habit? So maybe
Yeah.
in some situations a bad word will come up, then you
Yeah,
flip it away and
right. It comes up because, especially when you become emotional,
yeah.
but yeah, try not to, speak about it. Yeah, but yeah, because words really influence people. So it's I think my father always say that words really matters, and you know uh all the people in the world speaks only beautiful words, then everything become beautiful. So
Mm.
like yeah, that's the first thing I was conscious about it, while I do this actual water crystal experiment, because it's all about energy. It's all about positive, energies that influence in everything. So yeah, and especially the words, and here in Japan, the words are so important. We say kototama is the spirit in word. So that
Okay.
is
Mhm.
why I think it is so important to use positive words, yeah, to each other, um, so the energy can flow. Hmm.
Sounds nice, and it's easy to adapt, right? So it's completely in my hands how I think,
Mm,
how I speak. Um, sounds really really good. And
yeah.
I have this book with me here because
Mm,
I studied it together with my kids. This is a book your father published. It's a kids version of Message from Water, and they really
yes.
like it because in this book
Great.
everything is described that you mentioned. That water can grab information, that water also reacts on sound. Um, my kids think water is a being. You could talk to water, right? You could
Yes, yes.
have water like treat water like a friend. So, and this
Mm.
is really, really cool because I think this is what we forgot as adults, the importance of water and that relationship can be.
Yeah, important thing is that we should think that we are water, because we are almost water, 70% water. So, then what water likes, and water likes the positive energy,
Mhm.
beautiful, pure prayers. And so, yeah, you treat the water, you treat other people like water, then, we can be connected too, because we are all water. So, the idea to think that we are all water is really wonderful thing. And there's a song named "We Are Water" that was by John Lennon, and that um, title is amazing, because we are water, yes, and he knew that like 4 years ago, or then that's a strong message. If we think we are all water, then we can be connected as one. So yeah, so
What would you
that's what I
say?
think.
What shift in thinking would most transform our relationship with water?
Well, you know, based on the experiment that we did with the water crystals, the water loves the energy of love and gratitude, because it showed up most beautiful hexagonal, actually, crystal
Like
here.
this
That's
one. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
yes,
Yeah.
water of from the energy, the words of love and gratitude. So,
Hmm?
um, my father always say the love and gratitude very important. That's that because the water loves the most. So if everyone has the feeling and energy of love and gratitude, and make action based on the love and gratitude, and the circulation of love and gratitude will start, and eventually peace will come. So yeah, that's really important thing to treat people with energy of love and gratitude. And I know it's not, easy to do every time, but, always think that that can, yeah, make that, you can make that. So, yeah, I think based on the experiment. The energy of love and gratitude is really important. And so when meet people, treat people, and with that, if you have that energy, and then, it's going to be harmonious. So, mm,
Sounds reasonable for me. And if we look at the younger generations, they often feel overwhelmed by today's environmental problems. And
yeah.
so the question is, how can a deeper relationship with water help them develop personality while also creating positive change in the world?
Mm. Well, I think, not only for the younger people, but also older
Mhm.
people, older people, um, I think it is important to think what you give priority to, right? And then nowadays, like, in the world, and we're talking about, of course, economics, and we're talking about money, financial things, and you know, uh, I think those things really um, make you feel, you know, stressed and worried about.
Yeah.
And when you know, when you think about what's the most important thing in the world, and of course, you have different answers, but you know, of course, the one of the answers must be water, right? Because without water, we were never, born, and without water's characteristic, and all the human, all the living beings can not sustain life, and but nobody talk about water, so that is why I'm so happy that you started to do this project to, that's the project to give opportunity to, everyone to talk about water, talk about possibility of
Mhm.
water,
Mhm.
because water has immense, possibility. It's not yet uh, solved. I mean, it's a mysterious, substance. But water is the most important substance because, without water, there's no life. A lot of scientists, also do the research on water, and a lot of spiritual people, uh, already know about water. So, when we come together, everything, and we talk about water, and I think we have really progress as a human being, uh, you know. So now, everybody talk about convenience, human convenience, talking about AI stuff, talking about, you know,
Take water for granted
industry
because AI is
things.
the first priority.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we have to really change that idea because,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, even the AI, development, we have, those semiconductor technology, we have 5G technology, but, while we doing that, we pollute the water. So, and we're not talking about it. That's really mm, strange thing because without water we cannot do anything. So, and we are in the water planet, and water reacts really to all the information, and water has a possibility. Water can be substance for medicine. Water can be energy, and so um I know, like young people, I can feel the same, because what is going on in this world, I think there are more important things, and yeah, overwhelmed with all technologies, but I think we should go back to, kind of original point, and in the people in ancient time always show gratitude, love, gratitude to the nature, prayed, and live in harmony together with, the people and share the things. And so, I think it's so important to get that mind back. We need it.
Hmm.
We need that kind of mind, rather than all the advanced technology or whatever, the competition, everything. So I think, you know, by knowing like we are water, 70% water, so we can be connected with others. And then maybe when you drink and you give, love and gratitude to water and pray. And, when we prayed, your water inside really, really energized and you can feel it. It's important to regain the connection with people through water, and that's why we do, event World Water Festival too. So then, yeah, bring the awareness for, water and for our power of consciousness, and so those things I think are very exciting thing, important thing. And so I would like the young people to know more about it and join us.
So, Hiro,
Yeah,
how do you see water playing a role in building new forms of connections across cultural and geographic boundaries?
I think water is a universal language.
Hmm.
My father was invited from different countries and to talk about water, and you know, he was popular any countries in regardless of what culture, religions, because he talk about water. Water is a very um, sacred, thing for any religions, right? And you know, that is why my father, eventually, pursue the world peace. And because
Hmm.
he thought by, spreading this, the nature of water, the truth of water, and the power of consciousness, and we can be connected together through water, and we can achieve world peace. So that is the activities he focused. And you know in the last time, he he really focused on the educating children with the book,
With the book or
Message
something? Yeah.
from Water. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
because if the kids knows about these beautiful words, show the beautiful water crystals and pure prayer, ignored, there no nothing, the water become really weak. And so, you know the by splitting this, and the kids really kids really remember that, and then with that uh mind, they can make a future. So that is why my father really really thought it's important to spread this message from water to children all over the world. And his hope is to that when they become adult, and then they, with knowing this fact, and they can make wonderful, beautiful world together.
Hero, it was a pleasure to see you again, to talk how important it is to develop a conscious relationship with water and to see this universal element from a different perspective.
うん。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。I wanted to share some actually wisdom from old Japanese samurai. His name is Nyosui Kuroda, and he actually um, he said there are five principles of water, and then that's a five characteristic of water. But he he didn't say that, but it was like, for us to learn. We can learn from water because we are water too. The first, water moves by itself and influence others to move. The second, water constantly seeks its own path and never stops. Three, when faced with obstacles, water intensifies its power and hundredfold. Four, water cleans itself and others, embracing both purity and impurity with grace. Five, water fills vast oceans, transforms into vapor, cloud, rain, snow, and hail, freezes into a clear mirror, yet never loses its essence. So these are the words from Nyosuke Kuroda, and yeah, the message is like we are water and we can become like a water. So water characteristics amazing. It's I think what is really mm, you know giving love, giving love to everything.